Hey, what's up folks, Victor with PhoneArena here, and today we'll take a look at two of the hottest devices this fall. The Samsung Galaxy Note 4 on one hand and the Huawei Ascend Mate7. These are both large devices. These are what we call phablets, and the Note 4 with its 5.7-inch display and cutting-edge hardware comes after the Huawei Mate7 that surprised us with its extremely good performance and its nice value for the price. So can we have a surprise, and can the Huawei actually beat the Mate7 in this direct comparison? Have the Snapdragon 805 here versus Huawei's own silicon right here, and we have both fingerprint scanner on this and fingerprint on this one, so let's compare them and find out which one is the better handset. The Note 4 features a sturdy metal frame and a plastic back cover styled as faux leather. The Huawei Ascend Mate7 in comparison sports a unibody metal construction in a single seamless piece of aluminum that exudes confidence and a feeling of stability. The elephant in the room, however, is size. We're used to seeing big phones in the past few years, but it's worth making it extra clear that these two are indeed very large devices. The Ascend Mate7 in particular, with its 6-inch size, just dwarfs the Note 4 and it's a phone that barely fits in some pockets. And this might be an issue for some people. The Note 4 features the traditional Samsung button layout, and keys are clicky and comfortable to press, plus you have a fingerprint reader built in the physical home key. The Ascend Mate7 on its part features on-screen navigation buttons, while on the right side, within a reaching distance, you have the stylish metal lock key and a volume rocker that is also very convenient and clicky. The Mate7 also features a fingerprint reader, and it's on the back, below the camera. This feels like the right place for it, as that's exactly where your finger stays when you hold the phone, and the scanning itself is extremely quick and very accurate. All it takes is a single tap. The Note 4 comes with a 5.7-inch Super AMOLED display with a Quad HD resolution, while the Mate7 features a tad larger 6-inch screen of the IPS LCD kind, but a lower 1080p Full HD resolution. With a pixel density of 515 ppi, the Note 4 has the upper hand in terms of sharpness. Switching to colors, we're impressed with the quality of the Note 4 screen. If you switch to basic mode, you have very accurate colors that look pleasingly rich but not overblown. The Mate7 also features a very nicely calibrated screen with very accurate colors. For outdoor viewing, the display of the Note 4 goes up to a good 468 nits of brightness, and with reduced screen reflectance the experience is nice and the display is legible even under the direct sun. The Mate7 is a bit brighter but also picks up a bit more reflection, so readability is just a bit lower. The Note 4 can also go all the way down to 1 nit minimum brightness, making the screen very convenient for use at night as it's not too bright, while the Mate7 could be uncomfortable for night birds. Both the Note 4 and Mate7 run on Android 4.4 KitKat, but there is a vast difference in the looks of the two platforms because of the different skins. TouchWiz on the Note 4 has new white backgrounds, it is much cleaner of clutter and introduces a more intuitive settings menu. The new set of fresh Quad HD wallpapers also looks great on the Note 4. Huawei's skin is called Emotion UI and comes with customization options aplenty. The default look with rounded edge icons looks a bit too retro for us, and it's all complemented by an overall darker tonality. Now, both being large devices, they feature modes that shrink down the screen and make the phone easier to use with a single hand. Samsung's TouchWiz is ahead of Huawei's interface in a few areas. It has health tracking via S-Health, and in the Note 4 you can now measure blood oximetry and UV radiation. Then there is the signature S Pen functionality. Despite its improved accuracy, handwriting on the S Pen is still accompanied with a slight but annoying lag. But for more precise selection and image editing, the stylus is a welcome addition. The Note 4 comes with the latest and most powerful Qualcomm SoC, the Snapdragon 805. The Mate7 in comparison runs on a Huawei-made high-silicon Kirin 925 octa-core chip. In daily usage, both do a fine job handling Android mostly smoothly and fairly lag-free. Looking in more detail though, you can notice a definite difference in speed in favor of the Galaxy Note 4. It runs faster, something that's particularly well noticeable when you scroll through lists and surf the web. Benchmarks show a clear advantage for the Note 4 in terms of both CPU and GPU performance, and the Note 4 has around 25% faster CPU, for instance. The Note 4 and Mate 7 both feature 32GB of internal storage on board, double that of most rivals. You can also expand that via microSD cards of up to 128GB on both. Interestingly, while Huawei claims it has the fastest eMMC flash memory, we found that the Note 4's memory outperforms it in many tests. The Mate 7's custom browser comes with quite a lot of rough edges, as zooming in and out happens with a stutter and there are some other glitches. That is the reason why we feel the Chrome is the better choice if you want a smoother surfing experience on the Mate 7. The Note 4 on the other hand has a stock Samsung browser that works smoothly, comes with a rich variety of options and a nice full screen option. In terms of connectivity, you have 4G LTE on both, as well as Bluetooth 4.1 on the Note 4 versus 4.0 on the Mate 7. Dual channel Wi-Fi, GPS and NFC are on both. The Note 4 also has an infrared beamer with an accompanying app that you can use to remotely control electronics like your TV, while the Huawei phablet lacks this option. The Note 4 comes with a 16-megapixel rear camera that supports optical stabilization, while Huawei's Ascend Mate7 ships with a 13-megapixel main shooter with no OIS. Looking at the camera app, Samsung has kept on improving the experience, and in the Note 4 it is simplified, with less clutter. Huawei's camera interface, on the other hand, is the most blatant clone of Apple's iOS camera app we've seen so far. Features the same large red round key and you swipe to switch between different modes. When it comes to image quality, the Galaxy Note 4 is in a league of its own with outstanding amount of captured detail, pleasing colors and a very dynamic look to shots. The Mate 7 on the other hand has images that are also very good quality with decent amount of detail, but in comparison with the Note 4 they look mushier and somewhat lacking in dynamics. Indoors, the Note 4 has a more evident advantage with its consistently sharp detail and realistic color tones. The Samsung phablet also has a 3.7 megapixel front cam and can capture some good looking selfies, while the Mate 7's 5 megapixel camera captures still decent but comparatively lower quality selfies. In terms of video, the Note 4 can record at both 4K and 1080p, while the Mate 7 can only shoot 1080p at 30 frames per second. 4K is a nice extra, but it comes with some limitations. You can record only 5-minute long clips, for instance. Comparing apples to apples, or 1080p at 30 frames per second, the Note 4 has the more pleasing colors with plentiful detail in video, while the Mate 7 looks a bit underexposed and tends to be slower with exposure compensation. Optical image stabilization on the Note 4 also contributes to smoother footage. The large displays on both the 6-inch one on the Mate 7 and the 5.7-inch one on the Note 4 are the biggest reason why media consumption is a pleasure on both tablets. The video app on the Note 4 shows you a collection of videos with a nice live animation, giving you a quick glance of the content of each video. The Mate 7 on its part has a simpler, no-frills video gallery that is basically just a list of all the recordings on the phone's internal storage. For images, the Note 4 gallery is a nice experience that gives you dual panel view for easier navigation and comes bundled in with rich image editing options, while the Mate 7's gallery app is a very simple affair that either shows you your pictures as a list or in a timeline. The music player on the Note 4 is also rich in settings, while the Mate 7 has a simpler but visually fairly clean and nice looking music player. The single speaker of the Galaxy Note 4 comes with a decent amount of volume output, but it lacks sorely in depth, contributing to its rather thin sound quality. The Note 4 is a great performer when it comes to call quality. Voices sound deep and clear in the earpiece, and on the other end of the line, callers are able to make out voices in their natural tonality and with sufficient loudness. The same cannot be said about the Mate 7. It features a quieter than we'd like earpiece, and incoming voices sound a bit robotized with a digital undertone. On the other end of the line, sound is a bit better, but still not perfect in terms of clarity. In terms of battery life, both rank on top of our battery tests. The Mate 7 scores a whopping 9 hours and 3 minutes of non-stop use in our strenuous battery test, while the Note 4 scored a generally similarly long-lasting result at 8 hours and 43 minutes, just a bit lower. In reality, even under heavy use, both phones are capable of going a full day off the charger, and if you're not using your phone that often, you could squeeze out as much as 2 days. Samsung has also been one of the first companies to include a new ultra power saving mode for its Galaxy series, mode that turns the screen to black and white and caps the processor to squeeze the most out of the battery. Huawei also has its own ultra power saving solution, but that one is even more limited, keeping only basic call and messaging functions and leaving you with no internet connection whatsoever. In conclusion, we ought to say that both these devices performed admirably well in most of our tests, but the Galaxy Note 4 is the one that has the upper hand when it comes to performance, and it has one of the most outstanding cameras we've seen on any Android phone, or any phone for that matter. Its 16 megapixel snapper is excellent, producing excellent images and video. The Huawei Ascend Mate7 also does not have a bad camera, but it's just not on par when it comes to the Mate 7's camera and in fact silicon performance. This chip here is a bit slower, not on par with the Note 4, but the Huawei Ascend Mate7 is the more affordable one, coming with a price of around $500 while the Note 4 costs around $700 and more depending on the version that you pick. So if you don't care about that price difference, the Note 4 is the one that performs better, has higher performance silicon, while the Mate 7 is a still very good value for the money. So if that's what you're looking for, it might be a good choice for you. For a more detailed comparison, make sure to go to PhoneArena.com. Thanks for watching.